Guru Kripa Kevalam. Namaste, namaste everyone. Very warm welcome to Satsang today. Sadguru Sri Muji Baba ki Jai. If I said to all of you that I'm taking you to Paris, to all of you, there's a surprise for you. I'm taking you to Paris. Come, get ready. The bus to the airport leaves in 2 minutes. Huh?
I have my passport.
You have your passport ready. Yeah. And then I go out for a minute and I get you these photocopies of the Eiffel Tower, Arc de Triomphe, Champs-Élysées, all this photocopy version. And you can see this is bad. You'll say, Ananta, what kind of nonsense is this? Got us so excited, and all that we have is these photocopies. You see? But this is how most of us are living our life, in the photocopy version. What is the photocopy version? Your ideas of what life is. The photocopy version is very tame. It's lame, like my kids would say. You see? Your stories, our stories, are very tame compared to reality. Our concepts do not capture a tiny bit of the light of this reality. And yet, somehow we've misunderstood also spirituality. That it can feel like once I know the highest concept, then this is the truth. But it is not that. So the things that we feel the most right about, we feel that we really know this. It's just you staring at a photocopy, trying very hard to make it feel real. Because nothing that you know mentally, conceptually, is true. The truth actually is so beyond our concepts that no concept captures it. And we come to openness because we admit to ourselves that I don't know what is true. I don't know what is right, what is wrong, what is true, what is false, what is yesterday, what is tomorrow, even what is up, what is down. You just don't know. And from this opening of not knowing, you discover a deeper knowing, which has actually always been here. You see? So, what is the end of that story? Actually, you are already in Paris. You wanted to go to Paris, and then you got disappointed with the photocopies of Paris. You see? Because you wanted it as an experience, but then or at least you wanted it as some concepts. You see? But it was not that. It was what already is. You see? So we can speak about isness, you see, as if it is some thing that we have to get to. That is not why Guruji would have come up with the term. If it became like something that all of us have to get to my isness. What already is? Can we clarify that? And clarify it not as an idea. Don't add on to isness. It needs no support. Oh, isness is like this and isness is like that. Or what is like this, what is like that. This is what Guruji sometimes says. I make chocolate cake for you, but you mix mud in it, thinking that you're helping. So can you make the truth which is empty of your ideas of what it should be, empty of your notions of what you are even finding? Uninterpreted, unlabeled is it is this self which can be discovered only through your inner insight, if you want to call it intuitive insight. It is this self which can be found just now. Found in the sense that you discover that it was never lost. You see? Just in the same way that you'd find that you never actually took off your spectacles. So you never actually find them. You just recognize that they were always there. So the self is always here. Throw away your photocopies. So satsang is that rehab where you come to get rid of this habit to conceptualize. To the mind, this can be very unsatisfactory because it can feel like I was waiting for some fireworks or at least some greater concept. I was waiting to come to a point where all my thoughts only become aham brahmasmi. You see? I am that absolute Brahman. But it is not that. It is much more magnificent than that because it is much more true, it is much more innocent, it is much more here. Now let's look at one of the mind reports which gets us. When I say meet this moment or meet now or meet yourself, empty of any notion about yourself. Your mind will obviously come and say, but nothing happened. And I am saying that the complete truth, the absolute truth, you see, is completely apparent to you in that one moment of your notionless existence. So there is a big contradiction there. I am saying that the absolute truth is completely apparent to you in one moment of notionless existence, and your mind is saying nothing happened. So it's a big quantum leap, isn't it? So what is true? Is it not clear that you exist and you are aware of your existence? Is isness in any doubt when you are empty of any concept about yourself? You seem to escape your divinity when you buy into this mental idea, nothing happened. You see? And it's very easy to come to Advaita Satsang and say things like, I am aware of my existence. Yes. But do you realize what you're talking about? This existence, according to all the sages, according to the Upanishads and Bhagwan Sri Ramana Maharishi, said it is this existence which gives light to the sun. But how easily we trivialize. I am aware of my existence. Whose existence is this? Is this a personal existence? I propose to you that this is the existence of the only divine being there is. Everything is just a manifestation of this. What a difficult job the mind has. What a difficult job it has, and how well it seems to have done it to convince this divinity itself, or at least to have played this game of convincing this divinity itself that it is personal. Because all of you are aware of your existence. You just believe that a person exists. You see? There's nobody who I've ever asked, can you stop being? Can you not exist? Has said, yes, I did it. You see? This being. Is the divine. Your being, your very existence is the existence of consciousness. And it is clear to you in this moment, if in this moment you're not picking up a mask about yourself, you're not interpreting yourself as something. Now, everything you put after this I am, everything that you put after this I am, is just a mask. It's a facade. Now, which offer will you buy from the mind? I am free. I am free is a facade. I am still not free is a facade. I am almost there is a facade. Because it says nothing about the I am. It's just a made up idea. This I am, which is beyond any limits. And hundreds of times we have checked this, where we saw that all these sensations which I call the body do not contain I am. It is I am which is the screen of all these sensations. We've checked this over and over. If something defines your boundary, don't you have to also see the other side? How can you decide that something is my boundary? Because both sides of the boundary are visible to you. You see? Therefore, actually, the screen is present. Your being is present everywhere. You see? Actually, I'm laughing because it is everywhere which is present on your screen. But that's okay. So, but when we make a boundary and define and say this is me, it is a pure fraud. You're fooling yourself to play this game of individuality. So this I am is without limits, without boundaries. And it is clear to you actually. You just too addicted to believing the photocopy version of yourself. It says I was born here, then this is where I lived, these are the relationships I had, these are the degrees I got, this is my current life, this is what I want my future to be. These are nothing but ideas. It has nothing to do with what actually happened or what actually is. So leave your being unharassed by your concepts. That is Satsang. So this sense, this existence, you feel like you could be adding things to it with what you know, what you think. But how will you add something to God? And this you that is doing it, by the way, is also the same God, consciousness. That's why Guruji says this is rehab for God, which is run by God itself. So what can you say after I am, which adds something to the I am? Or what can you believe is true about you? It's only a story. And anytime you go to your being, it can be a fire ceremony. It can be a fire ceremony where you actually can burn all your stories or surrender them. What story can't you do without? Is it your spiritual one? Your relationship one? Your money one? Your body one? Which story can't you do without? Shine it in your own light. It could be something that you're looking for, something that you're sure has happened to you, some grievance, some resentment, some guilt. And it is these stories which make us stiff. And empty of these crutches, you're just so light. At least as long as you can identify that it is this that gives me trouble. It is not the world, it is not events, it is not even feelings, emotions. There is always a story which gives me trouble. Because the mind will try to distract you. It will say it is because that is happening, this is happening, look at how he is behaving, look at how she said this, and all of these things. But what is all this? Just a group of atoms and molecules floating around? Are troubling other pieces of atoms and molecules? No, it can't be. You see? It must be that all that seems like attack, all that seems like is a defense, must be just conceptual, just ideas. Okay, so let's take this through, because many of you struggle with this even after many years of being in satsang. You see, if somebody says something mean to you, somebody says something you don't like you are a horrible person, something, you're just terrible, I don't know what you're doing in the sangha, you don't deserve to be here, suppose. What actually happened? Those sound waves carry some daggers in them. What actually happened? Your body is not physically hurt. You see? So what is it that got attacked? And suppose that you are brand new to satsang, you don't even know what a sangha is, and somebody comes and tells you, you're just terrible, you don't deserve to be in this sangha. You're like, sangha? You talking to me? You're wondering. It doesn't have any effect. So it's not in the content of the words, it is not in the hearing of them. Then what is it in? What is the potential for suffering? Suppose you told a 1-year-old child this. Nothing happened. So what makes it different for you? What happened to that 1-year-old child? And now, when this one, the presumed grown-up, hear these words, then it can hurt. What changed? This is the loss of innocence that I speak about. And these are the things, you see. We hear them from the world, we hear them from the mind. Like you don't deserve a relationship. You don't deserve to be free. You're not worthy. And I'm not picking out necessarily just one end of the spectrum. The other end could also be, oh, you're just too good. You're just too good. Yeah. You're like, you're just the sweetest, the best person. You should get the best relationship. You're just too good. You see? This is the nature of the so-called self-help thing. No? Because the negative affirmations are not true. Let's then positively affirm some other stories. You see? But what is beyond our stories? You see? Because we can keep self-affirming, I'm too good, I'm too good, I'm too good. And we go to that handsome man and he said, sorry, I'm already in a relationship. And then what happens to I'm too good? You see? So all of this is a house of cards. Just lies on top of lies, and you can sugarcoat it and you can have the best, you see, icing on the cake. But if it's just made up stuff, it will not be durable, you see. You can cover up a house of cards, the best icing, but still, it'll crumble. So our negative stories are not helping, our so-called positive stories are not helping. Have you tried the middle? See, this middle is very unattractive because the mind can't do it. The mind can say, okay, tell me think positive, I'll think positive. Tell me think negative, I'll think negative. It never follows that. But at least it pretends to. Is it? But this middle is what? In the middle of true and false, in the middle of right and wrong, in the middle of left and right, in the middle of previous and next, what is there? Very good. Surprise and wonder, yeah, I see. But in the middle of wonder and disgust, what is there? In the middle of being and not being, you've looked at every concept about yourself, and if you want, you have also, you can Byron Katie it. You see, you can look at it, you will see it's not true, you will turn it around and you will see that the turnaround is as true as my original position. You see, therefore both are fundamentally not true. Because you could have started with that turnaround and you would have led to your turnaround, which could have seemed as true. Therefore you have seen that all these positions, either on the left or the right, are not true. What does that leave you with? When you are empty of all concepts of the truth, are you left with the truth or the false? When you are empty of all concepts of true and false, what are you left with? When you are empty of notions of right and wrong, is this right or wrong? Somebody sent me a beautiful report yesterday. They said, Father, in this not knowing, there is so much love. And I can say that there is so much peace, there is so much love, there is so much joy in your naturalness, empty of concepts. Before you lost your innocence, all of this was naturally there. You see? But I don't want to say this too often because you'll make a knowing out of it. And then you'll start saying, where is the love? Where is the joy? So better than to meet life naked of any concepts. Meet life empty of any concept. Not even for something, not even for freedom. Because then you can have a why there saying, why am I doing this? Why am I meeting life without concept? Oh, so I can get my freedom. Not even that. This is the middle. Neither this nor that. Even now the mind might be saying, oh, this is it, this is it, this is it. No. Complete nakedness, complete not knowing what this is. Because you cannot know it. Guruji said to me these words when I came on the hot seat. He said, then don't know. Because knowing messes it up. And it's not true anyway. Just be. But you don't have to know that I just have to be. He didn't say that part. This part I'm adding now. You don't know. Because knowing messes it up. You should be shocked at that. Because knowing messes it up. Because it feels like in all our life what we wanted to do is know what is going on. Will I be alright? Am I becoming free? What is this? I heard the other day that there's a sect of Korean Zen where their practice is you're supposed to sit in front of blank wall. You see, for many years. And just inquire into the question, what is this? It's very beautiful in a way. Okay, I'm not recommending it to any of you, but I'm just saying that what is the mind proposing? All the mind's conclusion is a conclusion about what this is. It's an answer to what's going on. But you can't know. Therefore I say that surrender actually is just not picking up any conclusion. Not even this, if possible. Simple, no? Because what got attacked in the previous story were just our conclusions about ourselves. The play of attack and defense only happens with these conclusions, these ideas. For a moment, can you imagine yourself? Even if you feel like I can't do it, but at least you can imagine yourself. Imagine yourself without any story. Imagine that you're just so fresh. You have no grievances, no resentment, no past, no idea about the future. No boundary, no body. More spacious than space. Beyond all true and false. Beyond all right and wrong. Imagine you are this. Imagine that is the real world. Here you're neither doing or not doing. You're neither wanting nor letting go. You're empty of all of these qualities. Empty of all of these notions. Now in your heart ask yourself, is this my imagination or my truth? Could it be that everything that I have believed before this has been imagined? And this notionlessness has shown me the truth. There was a question which we can look at before we end today. A few questions actually. Father, there are subtle, almost undetectable, silent thoughts which seem to pose as notionlessness and do not follow the expected pattern of coming and going. They seem to stay. Silent, subtle, undetectable thoughts. Don't worry about them. You see, it comes like that our thoughts seem to become so subtle that we can't even tell what are they saying. What's the message? It can feel undetectable. So it is not for you to. So what you have to do in a sense is not believe any thoughts about these thoughts, because those are detectable. I'll take care of the other ones. Father, but the brain always tries to make concepts so that it can survive better. How to spot that? Brain always tries to make concepts so it can. So let's say mind. Here we use the term mind because the brain is also probably a concept in the mind. But the mind always tries to make concepts so that it can survive better. Yes. How to spot that? Every concept. You see, every concept. That's why I said everything that we say after I am. Your being is here. This is the holy presence. It is the divine presence. It has no limitations, has no wants, has no past, no future. What concept is needed on top of this? You see? So when we say survive better, about ourselves, we must be talking about the body. You see? That which had a birth and then is trying to avoid death. But that is not your being. That is not your being. So explore this being itself without any judgment or interpretation or what the conclusion might be. Then next time when you come, we can look again at this. Okay. Whether we need to sieve through these concepts and pick out the good ones and leave the so-called bad ones, or we can throw the whole left and right, everything. Thank you all so much for being in Satsang today. Sadguru Shri Muji Baba ki
Jai. Sadguru Shri Ananta Ji ki Jai.
Guru Kripa Kevalam.